Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and today's reading is devoted to seeing what Donald John Trump is actually doing on Friday, September 4th. So his actions for this day. Whether we actually see it in the news, I want a glimpse behind the scenes with him. Okay, yikes. And his karma accruing up to this day and through this day. Okay. So what he's doing, we have the Tower, and this is the Radiant Rider Waite. We have the Ten of Wands. We have the Knight of Swords, the Five of Swords, and King of Wands, which I often get for him. Okay. And for what his karma is, and this is the Universal Rider Waite, we have the Ace of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Six of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Always lots of pentacles and swords with him, rarely any cups. Okay, so for what he's doing, he's creating chaos like he always does. He's trying to break through structures that are in place that are meant to protect us. He's doing whatever he can to just trash and burn. You know, this is the theme for the day. The center cards are the theme. This can be the morning and this can be the afternoon. Sometimes it's just an overall message, and sometimes most often it's all three. So throughout the day, he's pissed. He doesn't care about anybody else. He just wants the burdens off his back, and he's ready to just pillage. Pillage. In the morning, he's reading the riot act to somebody. He wakes up really angry, and he doesn't like all this that's coming down on him. He really does not enjoy being president. He just wants the benefits, is what, what I've noticed as a pattern in the past. And yeah, so I do have my human bias, but I also have my good common sense, and I have my intuition. So my readings for Trump definitely are biased, but hopefully leaning to the truth. Because the truth is he's racist. His campaign is run on fear. He's hateful, and he lies constantly. Constantly lies. He does everything he can to win. And so let's just get into the meanings of the cards a little bit for those of you who are still learning. And I always welcome, I love it, I absolutely love it when you guys get intuitive hits of your own and you leave comments about, the meanings of the cards. I welcome those constantly, and I absolutely love them. So with the Tower card, of course it's if this were to come up in one of my clients' readings, I would say there's a restructuring and a pat. I would give them a big pat on the back because they're breaking through their false self so that the real self can come through. In his case, I have to read it in the negative sense of he's not getting his lessons going inside and working through his soul, so they have to come to him from the outside. And these are crisis times, for him. And, we'll see a lot more of it. It's, these can be just real upheaval. I mean, if you just look at the, the energy, it's up and out, and the crown is, falling. The people are falling. The people who are at the top in power are falling. They're losing their crowns. And he's doing that because he can't handle the burdens. He can't bring it home. And he knows it. And so heads are rolling. Heads are rolling. This guy comes in and takes out the heads. It's off with your head. He does not care. This is him trying to get whatever he wants. And what he wants is, big change. But he's deep down afraid of change. We can see what he's doing. We can hear what he's doing, and we can know what he's doing through the tarot, but also by listening to his words, because he's always projecting. So whatever he's accusing others of doing to him, it's what he's already been doing to us or to his opponents. So with this King of Wands, these two bookends here are really, really interesting. With the King of Wands there, that's all about dominating. It could be, if this were a personal card you got for yourself, I would say it's a wonderful card for using your vision, and it's a very entrepreneurial energy and quality, and where you're like master of your domain and you can create whatever it is that you want. But with him, this is his ruthlessness, and this is his ruthlessness. This is his deep inner conflict that he believes he always needs to be the winner. And unless he's winning, then that means he's losing. And he just can't stand to be a so-called loser. But what he does is he creates this chaos. He creates this ruin. If you were trying to do a reading to see if there's going to be some type of a war, these are the two cards you'd get. And this guy would be in there as well. And this may be at the end. So this is his actions. This is him moving into his weekend. And whether we see it or not, this is what's going on. He's emboldened, and he's in battle mode. Battle mode. Can't get my tongue to work right. It's trying to release the burden, and he doesn't care what havoc he creates. So, the karma he's been accruing up to date and through this day is, I believe I can read this in the reverse position, in that he really doesn't have the power that he thinks he has or that he wants. And maybe deep down inside, maybe he knows he doesn't have it. The Ace of Wands can be a beautiful card of inspiration and creation and your power, right? But in the reversed meaning, coupled with this card up here, you're really weighed down. It's a card of impotence. You're weighed down, and you don't have the motivation to even try and go anywhere. And with all of these cards, so here's what's happening on a spiritual level. His life force has turned against him. And so what happens is, when we're not using the available life force that we have in alignment with the laws of love, which are also, the laws of truth, and when we align, our wisdom comes through. And it's an inclusive energy. It's a place where you can create win-win situations. It's not about your inner conflict in battle mode with other people, and it's never about acting hastily. It's inclusive, so it's wide. The spiritual laws are wide and variable and flexible. And when you violate those laws, and when you're not inclusive and you don't care about other people or the planet or anything else other than yourself, then the power reverses, and it goes inward, and you're pretty much upside down. You're not grounded. There's nothing connecting you to the earth. And what happens is you wind up like this. You wind up in this situation where you're powerless and you've got to take a lot of breaks and recuperate, and hopefully you'll get the messages from within that can guide you to clearer waters, to calmer waters. But he's got Lady Justice right here. He's receiving the cold-heartedness that he's put out. I'm reading this now in a reversed meaning. He's received his cold-hearted, pardon my French, but bitchiness right back at him. And he's really worried about losing his money. He's in his poverty consciousness where he can't, find his ability to find the light within, because he always looks outside for the light. And for him, the light is money. So he's in poverty consciousness here. He's in lack. He's feeling handicapped and beat up, and this may very well be about his heart, his health and his inability to, walk correctly and talk correctly that we've been witnessing. And yeah, and in that health reading I did on him yesterday, definitely showed some neurological issues, as well as other things. But now it's just for the month of September, but this is all, accruing. This has all been happening already. So his life force has turned against him. He's not healthy. He's needing a lot of rest and recovery to get to smoother waters, but I don't know if he's going to do it. This could be a bit of a self-implosion. And he's created all this. We create our own reality. Now, we don't have to be perfect because we're human, and nothing on earth is perfect. But, who we each are inside of us is perfect. Deep down in our core, the life essence, our spiritual essence, our spiritual fluids, whatever you want to call it, who we really are in spirit is already perfect and whole. But then we have soul substance that is oftentimes going in the wrong directions because it's hooked into negative pleasure. It's hooked into, with him, it's hooked into just needing to be seen, look at me all the time, and he doesn't have his own self-regulation mechanism in place, and I believe that has to do with his 2-year-old that's very, very wounded, and then coupled with the 13-year-old that got sent away to military school. Yeah. So, there's a place we can actually have compassion for him, but then again, he is an adult and he never turned things around, like his brother Fred did, and Mary Trump in the family, she's definitely turned things around, and she's a force of protection for us. So maybe that's who the Queen of Swords is here. I don't see family cards here, but we don't need them to understand his family pattern because it's already out there in her book. But, the Queen of Swords in the highest sense has to do with critical thinking and seeing the way forward. She's cut through all the bull, She doesn't. And if you can see clearly here, the little, here, let me hold it up. See the little butterfly here? It's a big butterfly actually. And there's 2 of them here. That's why I love the symbology of this old Rider Waite. 2 little ones here. We have the child here so she protects the children even. And see all the butterflies in her crown? That doesn't always come through in recent renditions of the Rider Waite, and it's one of those things I have burned in my brain, so it'll come through no matter what deck I'm reading. But the message here is that she's been through hell and back, and that's why she's felt all her feelings. She's like with the Queen of Cups, she's gone through all her emotional reactions, and she's grieved, and she's gone through her loss. Now this is in the upright position. This is in the highest energy of this card. And because she's done that, she's emotionally clear, and because of that fact that she's emotionally clear, her feelings flow freely, and she can always see the way forward. Now, with him, and I give this meaning just, for you guys, but for him, we could see it as in the opposite, because what's happening is that, he's cold-hearted. He hasn't cleared out his emotional body. He has never done his soul work. And so he's, like overly emotional. And he's, the emotions aren't aligned with the truth either. So this is a place where you're burdened by, with those two forces together, you're burdened by the past, and you want to be free, and you want to be clear, but you have to do the soul work. You have to meet the pain. You have to feel all the pain and the grief of your childhood, and you have to come through the other side feeling that, okay, I can rise above it, and the buck stops here with me. And I don't have to take on, Father Fred Sr., Trump and his belief system. That does not have to be true for me. If he were doing any soul work, that it would look, something like that. But it takes years. And that's why most people won't go there, because they're afraid it takes too long. But if you can go deep and you can be honest with yourself and not resist anything, you can do it quickly. But it's a step-by-step process, and you go deeper and deeper, and you spiral into your it's like a spiraling in type of a process where there's a little piece here, and you have to stop and go, oh wait, okay, I gotta deal with this, and it might take you a week, and then you go around and you keep going around, and then you come back to it, and now it only takes you 3 days. And you come around again, and this is, self-worth. Oh, okay, I can get through it in 1 day, and then later on, it's like, oh, a couple of bad hours in the afternoon or something, or a bad, incident at nighttime, and you took care of yourself and slept and rejuvenated and got to the truth, got to the inner truth. That takes a lot of courage to do, courage. So with him, he hasn't done that. So instead of spiraling into deeper to who he is, everything's up and out. It's up on the surface. And he has many, many, many blind spots. And from there, there's just no real control over his life. So I think that's all I have to say about him for the day. I think this is like more than enough. But I welcome your comments and questions, and we'll be back for Saturdays. Okay. Meanwhile, you guys take good care as usual. Bye.